Well, I made it back. I got all my stuff done. My trip is over. I'm back home, and it feels good. I had fun in D.C. the last 3 days, meeting up with Congress members and members of the Senate, and developing the beginning stages of what I hope will be legislation that will help a lot of people out. The specifics of the legislation I'm working on has to do with disabilities and people's Social Security, disability insurance for people who were disabled from birth, trying to help them from being punished for doing things that everyone else takes for granted, like getting married or owning property. Uh, these people aren't living high on any hog, but they should be able to have, if they're when they're fully disabled and are not going to have the ability to have gainful employment, they shouldn't be living on the edge of the abyss of existence. So I am working on helping those people out. I'm also working at trying to make the welfare system a little bit more efficient. By one, getting people who are on welfare, who really should be on the disability assistance, taken care of, and then start to change the incentives for people that are on the welfare system to where if you try to go out and get a job and your income increases because you are now getting an earned income, that you don't just immediately lose the benefits you are getting, because for many people that puts them in the hole. Because if you lose your insurance, you lose the money you were getting from the welfare programs. Sometimes the job that you're working doesn't pay you enough to really make a difference right away, and to take away all your income so quickly is a disservice to the fact that you're trying so hard to be successful. And so I'm trying to change the specifics on how that program works so you're not just thrown off. But I want you to get off. I want to help people get off of the welfare system. I want people, there are 4 or 5 generations that have been using welfare as the full means of support for their families. States can't sustain that. Just can't. A lot of other programs in states are being cut and lost because of trying to maintain the increasing numbers of people that are on the welfare program. Now, is welfare the only big expenditure? No, but it's one that we can help bring down, and in the process reward people who are able to get jobs, and then give them the support they need properly so they're not thrown back into financial hardships. The idea of punishing someone for trying to get off welfare because they got a job is a definition of stupid. So I'm trying to help those people out so they're not going to lose so much so quickly. The next thing I'm trying to do is help people get IDs. This might not sound like a really bad problem for most people, because most people have IDs. However, there are a lot of people in this country that don't have any source of identification. For people, women who are going through the DVIP, Domestic Violence Intervention Program, sometimes you have to leave in such a hurry that an identification is not the thing that's on your mind. And if you ever lose your ID, getting another one is very difficult. I used to hire a lot of people that were homeless or close to being homeless, and they needed assistance. But most of them didn't have identification because where were they going to keep it? Where were they going to put it? They had no access to Social Security Administration to get a Social Security card. They had no driver's license. They couldn't get a driver's license because they didn't have a Social Security card or a birth certificate proving who they were. They couldn't get a birth certificate because they had neither an ID, a state ID like a driver's license, or the Social Security card. So you go around in circles and not be able to do anything ever, and then you would be desolate because, well, you couldn't apply for any programs for assistance either. Why? Because you have no ID. This actually affects more people than you possibly realize. And one of the things I'm trying to do is get it to where if you can have municipalities like police departments, hospitals, a city government through means that you might have dealt with the city that you live in, or maybe a voucher system to where someone can put their identity and say, hey, this is who I am, this is my profession, I am vouching it, this is this person. We'd have to make sure that there's no incentive to lie, to try to give people identification that they don't deserve, or have the right to. But people should have the right to an ID. People should be able to get an ID and use it to get jobs, to apply for services when needed. There's a lot of things people will need IDs for, and because they don't have one, their ability to pursue life, liberty, and happiness is greatly inhibited. A lot of the things I worked on have to do with pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. People who are disabled should be able to get married without being punished. People who are on welfare and are trying to get a job shouldn't lose all their money right away. And people who just want an ID so they can get a job, or maybe apply for assistance so they can get built up into a position, get the skills necessary to get a job. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm also trying to help lower some of the costs for insurance. Some states only have one option for help for insurance plans on the ACA, and I'm trying to find a way to help break down barriers between states on selling insurance that has specifically to do with the state insurance commissioners, and that's a very huge topic, very complicated, but I'm trying to work on a way to make this easier to deal with. Anyway, this is going to be a shorter video than normal because I'm exhausted. I'm back home. I want to go to bed. I got some other things I got to deal with tomorrow that have nothing to do with government services, so I'm not sharing them here. But tomorrow is going to be a bigger headache than dealing with Congress, and that's saying something. Anyway, guys, for those of you that have been following along, I want to say thanks. I would really like to be able to help more people. It's important to me that I'm able to make people's lives better. That's what I want to do, and you do that by talking with people, finding solutions, having discussions. Screaming, yelling, and pouting, and throwing fits and protesting gets you attention, but not necessarily the attention you need, and it doesn't get you any results. Because clearly, you haven't gotten anything submitted for a bill in any state or federal legislation body to get anything you want passed or promoted, because you're too busy screaming about it versus actually doing the proper means of submitting bills and getting laws changed. So, if there's something on a legislative standpoint that you would like to see done, please hit me up, send me the specifics, how it affects you, who it affects that you know, how many people you know that you personally know that are dealing with this problem, and any possible solutions. Send me as much information you have on it. Try to be concise on the problem, a possible solution, and how it's negatively affecting people, or things that are positively affecting people. You want to increase those types of things. I want to know about them, because from the looks of it, I'm going to be coming down to DC a lot to work on things. So I mean, I got some good contacts, and I've met with a lot of really interesting people. You see these people on TV a lot, but to meet them on a little bit more uncandid level is awesome. So anyway, this video should be really short, which is awesome for me because I'm really tired and I got so much to do tomorrow. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, have a good night and take care.